Hello again, typewriter fans, and welcome to my second English review on a typewriter. This time it won't be just one, but four typewriters. I want to introduce you to the story of Optima Robotron. It was August the 1st. I had just started my typewriter collection with a few portable models, but I was looking for my first solid typewriter. I originally followed an ad for this Optima M16's twin, a Robotron 20, or at least the top cover and the logo on it were from Robotron 20. Later I found out it was actually an Optima M16 with the Robotron 20 cover, which actually makes sense, but I will talk about that later. The man was not from my town, so he had to send the typewriter to me by a courier. He delayed once or twice, during which time I felt he was skeptical of this idea, though he didn't tell me so directly. I already doubted that he would send it to me and decided to look at the ads again. That's how I found this Optima M16. The man was from my town. I went, I saw, and I bought it. He had announced it for the symbolic price of 20 leva, or about 10 euros. Of course, I wouldn't say no to having an Optima again, as I had as a child, and it got me into typing. It didn't take me long to find out that Robotron was a huge, mostly computer and electronics manufacturing company that was established in Dresden in 1969 and bought out the Optima brand very soon after. Before that, Optima was known for the Elite model series. I guess it won't be hard to smell the 70s in this Optima M16. It is a massive model, weighs about 16 kilograms, and was actually the most widespread non-portable typewriter in Bulgaria for its time. They are everywhere on the ads today. Unfortunately, most of them are in desperate state, abandoned for years in dusty basements and attics, and with a bunch of malfunctions, missing leads, and etc. One of the common problems that it has here too sometimes is what I call the double interval. Under the carriage there is a counter that separates the one-step interval with the help of a tooth and a small spring. That often breaks, and if this spring is broken or loose, the interval makes two positions for single click or blank positions after typing a letter. Having said that under the carriage, let's move on to one of the main features of East German typewriters, the removable carriage. There is one of the Optima Elite models from the 1950s with a removable carriage and three different carriage lengths. There is also a Neumann Ideal model with a removable carriage. There are two black buttons here at the back. They are pushed to release the hooks and the carriage could be lifted off. Large electric typewriters sometimes have removable carriages, as the engines are usually under them, but I haven't seen this on any fully mechanical typewriter like this. You can also see the branding on the back. This is how all typewriters, including the Optima brand in their name, are branded. The stand-alone Darrow and Robotron are branded differently. Coloration is also one of the things that differentiates Optima branded typewriters from Darrow or Robotron branded typewriters. Here you can see the beige range with grey metallic panel on the back of the carriage. The carriage itself has the standard stuff. Release button on the right, none on the left. Release of the paper clamps. Release the gear clamp on the left. Release the gear itself. Adjust the line spacings. The thumb folds like this behind the roller. Here is the ruler, here at the front, one paper support and the paper aligners. The keyboard is also distinctive to typewriters branded as Optima or Darrow Optima, with the exception of the electric Darrow Optima M200, which is an exact twin of the Robotron 202 and Darrow 202, with the signature Robotron brand key design. But with the exception of that, Optima M16 and Darrow Optima M16 have these square keys. Here you can see what I call the service row, the carriage release keys, here. The standard keys, one step right, release after the right paper aligner, the carriage is removable and heavy, so the capital letters work with the basket design. You can see it here. The interesting thing here that I've only noticed on massive typewriters, portables don't have it, the round brackets and the plus sign, here and here. On the side of the keyboard are the pressure regulator, here on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4. On the right is the color setting with 4 positions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's move on to the twin of Optima M16, the Robotron 20. Same but not quite. Let's look at the branding on the back. The Robotron branded typewriters are branded as Robotron Optima, and the factory in Erfurt, Optima's hometown, is also mentioned, indicating that these typewriters were manufactured in Erfurt, not in Dresden at the Robotron factory. The carriage is the same as the Optima M16 except for the coloring. The carriage is, as well as the body of the typewriter, are in this blue-green. Definitely the play of colors makes this machine interesting. The blue-green beige elements and the white cover. This cover, unlike the Optima M16, is metal and massive, which is also the reason why most Optima M16 and Darrow 20 in the ads are missing covers, and which is one of the things I don't like about them. I will show you now. Massive metal cover. I said about the distinctive round keys of the Robotron brand. They are also present on the Darrow brand with the Robotron models. As you can see in the channel, I introduced the Robotron 24 before the Optima M16, although I bought the Robotron 24 second, and the reason was those round keys, which are extremely convenient. On the carriage you can also see on the one of the differences between the Optima and the Robotron. The ruler is right next to the aligners. Here. Not here, like what is on the Optima. As these typewriters are old and heavily used, most of them have problems, and this one is no exception. You can see how the interval key is out of line. You can clearly see here is lower and here is higher. It's also very light, which doesn't inspire much confidence, but other than that it works fine. The one-step right key does not work. Also, the round brackets are not connected properly. You can also see how some letters don't go all the way down. The most significant and obvious difference is the length of the carriage. The Robotron 20 and the Robotron 24 follow suit from that old Optima model I mentioned earlier, with the 3 carriage lengths. This one here is the medium one, with 2 paper supports, and the third longest carriage is about 10 centimeters longer than this and has 2 extra side legs at the back, so the body doesn't lose balance when the carriage moves to the end position. I have a Robotron 20 with the longest carriage in the basement. Unfortunately, almost everything on it that might not work does not work. But considering how rare they are, it is a very valuable find. I will also have a Robotron 20 with the standard carriage length soon and collect the triplets. Another thing that the Robotron brand typewriters are different in, the 2 black buttons on the back are missing. The hooks are on the body and they can be released with those 2 handles here. Which is actually more convenient because the other type of hooks with the buttons on the back are more awkward and require a bit of adjustment. These here don't and can be released without standing up. And you can lift the carriage up almost with no problems. Let's move on. This is my latest acquisition, a Darrow 20 with the model of Robotron 20, but under the Darrow branding, branded on the back as the Robotron 20, with the covers and keyboard of the Robotron 20, but with the distinctive plastic cover like the Optima M16. The carriage is also removable like the Optima M16 by the 2 buttons from behind. When we combine the Darrow Optima M16 together with the Darrow 20, the Optima M16 and the 3 variants of the Robotron 20, the whole family of twins have 6 members. And finally, let's finish with the first cousin, the Robotron 24. At first glance it looks like the same carriage, but no, this one has a release button both on the right and on the left. And it doesn't fit the body of the Robotron 20. I tried it. Let's go the army green, the typical color of the carriage of Robotron 24. The front is a little bit lighter than that. The body is all metal. The keyboard is like the Robotron 20 and Darrow 20. It is also offered with a medium length carriage. I'm not sure about the largest one. It is wider on the sides, which gives it a little more impressiveness than the Robotron 20, Darrow 20 and Optima M16. The problem with mine is that the scrollers for adjusting the pressure and the color do not work because their connections with the mechanisms themselves are broken, but the important thing is that the typewriter works.